You have a sales process and then you have a renewal process that you have to follow. Your sales process is how do we get a lead to buy our product or service? What needs to happen for that to take place? And then you have your renewal process. The renewal process is a little different. It's after they sell that deal and somebody signs with you, you'll have a contract for 6, 12, 18 months. And then in that time frame, I think we all are just hoping that we can push a contract back to that client that has been working with us, and then they just renew. But the reality is in 6, 12, 18 months, a lot of things have changed. Your pricing may have changed, products and features may have changed, terms of agreement may have changed, and then same thing with their business, right? Budgets change, stakeholders change, different products or competitors that might be competing against you guys have changed. So there's usually a conversation you're going to have when it comes to renewals. It's not usually just pushing a contract back across the table and they sign and you're just good to go. We treat it that way though. So what I find is a common mishap for businesses is they don't plan this process out. They treat it as an afterthought. The renewal shows up. It's a week out, a couple days out. They remember that, hey, yeah, we got to talk to this guy. They try sending that contract across, and then they lose out on money for a couple months and maybe even have that customer churn because they didn't try to tee up that conversation ahead of the renewal date. So what we want to do in this video is talk to you about a system that will help you avoid that whole situation and make sure you're not losing out on money from somebody just, holding on to negotiation or having somebody churn because you didn't have conversations earlier with them. So we're going to talk about that, and this is going to basically auto-create renewal opportunities for us in Salesforce and then notify the teams that are all going to be involved so that they can prepare for that renewal conversation. So first things first, right? We need to have a renewal date. This usually becomes available after they sign the deal. You sign a deal, you have a contract, you know what that contract is for. It's either, like I said, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever. So once they sign that deal, you'll have a closed won date on your opportunity. You should also have a renewal date, and that will tell us, hey, in 1 year from now, this is when this is going to be a renewal. Their contract's going to end. This is when we have to talk about it. Once we know that renewal date, we want to start this process up, because really what the first decision you want to be making is how much time do we need with a team if everything were to go wrong to be able to tee up a renewal. So let's pretend that this customer did not like the service, they did not have a good account manager, they didn't like your pricing, they were maybe just okay with the product that you sold them on or the service you sold them on. How much time would you need in that situation to be able to prepare to have that not go sideways so that they would renew with you? And whatever that number is, that's when you should ideally be planning this out. We could obviously make this more complex and more crazy if you want it that simple. You could look at indicators. If they have maybe 3 bad CSAT scores with us, maybe we need 3 months ahead of time. If they've had all good CSAT scores with us the entire time, maybe we only need a month. So you could add that in, but ideally you want to just be thinking, if you want to keep this simple, what's the worst case scenario and how much time would I need to prepare? That's why I have X days away. This is going to be different for every service or product that is being sold. So think through that part first. Whatever that number is, that's when we want to actually start teeing things up. So let's pretend in this situation, we want 2 months ahead of time. That gives us, plenty of leeway there to be able to talk to people, negotiate terms, figure out and have some back and forth, PTO, people being out of the office or not getting back to us right away, gives us plenty of time with 2 months. So we're going to say 2 months in this situation. At 2 months away from that renewal date coming up, what we want to do is we want to create a new renewal opportunity for the sales rep inside of Salesforce. This gets it on the radar. It puts everything out there as far as what the deal size would be, what the new contract term would be, who's going to be assigned to it. So it gets you all your normal indicators that you're going to be wanting to look at for forecasting and for the sales rep to know that this is something that they got to start taking care of. So first things first, we want to create that. We then want to create some follow-up tasks that are going to be related to that opportunity. So there's going to be stuff that either the account manager has to do, the manager has to do, or the sales rep has to do. Maybe you want the sales rep to be the first point of contact. They start reaching back out to the client. Hey, renewal's coming up in a couple months. Who do we need to basically get involved so that we can look at this deal and look at new terms and all this kind of stuff. So we create some follow-up tasks that are automated on there. It guides whoever is involved in this deal, the manager, the account manager, or the sales rep, to all follow through with what they have to do on their plate. So the second step here would then be think through those things if you don't know them already. But you ideally want to plan out what are the things that we have to talk about, or what are the things we need them to do to be able to get the renewal process taken care of. Then we're going to send some kind of Slack notification or email notification to let the sales rep know that, hey, this opportunity's been created, your follow-up tasks are available, and this company or this client is coming up on a renewal in 2 months from now, so that they get pinged on it and they're aware that this is now in their pipeline. The other thing you want to do is, I have customer service here. It's more of a blanket statement. Kind of depends on how you structure your business. Either you have somebody that's like a project manager if it's service-based, or an account manager if you call them that. And then in other situations with like SaaS, a lot of times it's just customer service that's following up with these people and managing it. Whoever it is, it doesn't really matter, but you usually have somebody after the sales rep sells the deal that takes over for them and who they reach out to if they have any issues. So again, customer service usually fits that bill. So that's why I have that written here. But whoever that person is that's been handling the relationship side of things with that customer, that's who we also want to notify. We're going to let them know. We want to be able to check in with them. We want to get a pulse on things with them. And they're going to have the relationship probably more so than the sales rep at this point. The next thing that we're going to do is a little bit of a health check. So it's health check down here. This is going into that idea to make this a little more complex, which would be looking at things like their CSAT, maybe looking at things like how big this deal is worth, maybe looking at how it went the first time. Maybe we have like a note on there or some kind of checkbox on there to let us know that this was a little bit of a struggle type of client. So if you have any indicators like that, or you don't have any indicators like that, that's something to think through that you may want to involve in this process. Why that helps is this allows us to pull in some managers to, again, soothe the conversations that we're about to have, and or get some training and help with the customer service side and the sales rep side of how we need to approach this, right? So if it's a good experience, maybe we don't need anybody involved. We've already notified the sales rep and the customer service rep. We're good to go. They should be able to handle it. If it's been a bad situation, we have bad CSAT scores, we've had some complaints and multiple cases opened up about this client, then maybe we also want to involve the account manager or your sales manager so that they can be in there to help train, coach, negotiate, just kind of be ready to say, hey, we're probably going to struggle a little bit going through this. We need you to kind of be on call to know that, you might get roped into some of these emails coming up. And this will make it a lot easier for you guys to avoid that situation that we talked about before, which is, imagine you have that same scenario we just talked about, but then it's one day before your renewal, which this is the pattern I see a lot with companies. And again, they slide that over. They don't think through a lot of these things. And then it takes them a month, 2 months, 3 months to negotiate terms, pricing, and winning them back over if it didn't go too well. And that's 3 months of revenue that they lose out on as a business. If they were to just do this 2-3 months earlier, they could have avoided the whole thing. Sometimes that turns into some pressure situations I've seen where it's not necessarily that they didn't love it, but they don't love the new pressure that you're now applying to them. Maybe they were still on the fence a bit. And now that we're applying this new pressure of trying to get the deal done, trying to get the contract done, they now are more leaning towards the fence of like, forget this, right? I'm just going to go with another competitor. I don't want to work with somebody like that. I have seen that too. Either way, being underprepared for this is not going to be the way to go. Like, you don't want to just stick your head in the sand and just hope this all works out. You want to have a system involved to make sure that the right people are being pulled in, the right notifications are happening, the right people are aware so that they can all prepare to make this happen. So if this sounds interesting to you, or you do not have this set up and you would like it set up to make your business run more efficiently, there's a link below in the description. You can plug that in. It'll give us some of your information. We'll get on a quick call with you. If we're a good fit, we feel like we can help you, you can help us. We'd be more than happy to come in here and implement this system and tailor it for you. Whenever I do these videos, these are really simple in the sense of a good foundation of how to think about this. But by no means this is going to be the exact way that we do it for your business. We can make this a lot more tailored to fit the personal needs that you guys have as a business so that it works exactly for you guys. So again, if that seems interesting, click the link below. Looking forward to working with you guys.